Welcome back to Serious Spoilers. Today I will share a horror thriller movie from 2021, titled Halloween Kills. Spoilers ahead. Watch and enjoy. The film opens with Cameron walking home trying to call Oscar and express regret over cheating on Allyson, unaware that Oscar has just been killed by Michael Myers. Cameron then sees Sheriff Hawkins lying on the ground wounded after being stabbed by Dr. Sartain. Cameron goes to help him as Hawkins starts muttering that he should have been the one to kill Michael. Flashback to Halloween in Haddonfield in 1978, right in the middle of Michael's murder spree. A young Hawkins chases after Michael. Meanwhile, a boy named Lonnie Elam is being taunted by other kids before the cops drive by to warn them to get home immediately. Lonnie encounters Michael and is nearly approached by him until Hawkins and his partner show up to get Lonnie out of there. The two officers then follow Michael into his old house where he stands by the window. Michael attacks the partner and tries to strangle him. Hawkins enters and tries to shoot at Michael but ends up getting his partner in the throat. Michael gets away until the cops surround him outside, and Dr. Samuel Loomis runs into the house asking Hawkins if Michael killed again. He is unable to admit the truth. Forward to Halloween in Haddonfield in 2018, where a couple, Marcus and Vanessa, are enjoying a date night when they are bothered by a loud table behind them. Moments later, one of the men from the table is called up to the stage. It's Tommy Doyle, who came with fellow survivors Lindsey Wallace, Marion Chambers, and a now adult Lonnie. Tommy honors Michael's victims and other survivors of the incident, including Laurie Strode. Not long after supposedly leaving Michael to burn in her home, Laurie is rushing to the hospital with Karen and Allyson to treat her wounds. They see firefighters heading toward the house, with Laurie yelling for them to let Michael burn. When the first responders arrive, one goes into the basement where Michael emerges from a hidden cabinet. He grabs an axe and slays the man before pulling another one down with him. He walks out of the burning house and proceeds to slaughter the rest of the firefighters. The team who finds them issues a warning about Michael being on the loose. Marcus and Vanessa join Tommy and his friends for a drink. They get alerts on their phones and see the news that Michael is out there, along with another inmate who escaped with him. Tommy tries to round up a small group of people to gather and fight back so that Michael can be killed for good. Outside, Vanessa goes to her car when she sees what appears to be Michael in the backseat. She runs to get help, and Tommy approaches the car, but the man inside drives the car away before crashing and getting away. The crowd gathers by the car and finds nobody, but it's revealed to be the other inmate, panicking and fearful. A couple, Big John and Little John, live in Michael's old house. They are visited by trick-or-treaters, who claim that one of them bit into a razor blade that was in the candy. The Johns go to help the girl, but it was just a prank for their third friend to get all their candy. The Johns then frighten the kids with a story on Michael, causing them to run away. At the hospital, Karen takes time to grieve over her husband Ray's death. Sheriff Barker comes to inform her that Michael survived the house fire, and Allyson overhears. Cameron comes by to reunite with Allyson, who forgives him for cheating. Tommy and his friends arrive to round up more people to fight Michael, delivering a rousing speech and getting everyone to chant, "Evil dies tonight." Allyson goes with Cameron and Lonnie to hunt for Michael themselves, while Marcus and Vanessa join Marion and Lindsey. Before going, Allyson leaves a knife under Laurie's pillow in case Michael shows up. Lindsey, Marion, Marcus, and Vanessa come across a playground where they find the trick-or-treaters from earlier on the swing set. Lindsey goes to tell them to go home, but they know Michael is around and think he's just trying to scare them. They realize the truth when they see Michael holding the severed head of their friend. The kids run away before Michael tries to attack Lindsey. She manages to hide, but he then goes for the others. He breaks into the car and stabs Marion to death before sticking the knife through Marcus's head. Vanessa then tries to shoot at Michael, only to miss repeatedly and then have Michael kick the car door toward her and cause her to shoot herself in the head. Back at the hospital, Laurie wakes up, and Karen lies to her about Michael dying. Hawkins is then wheeled into the same room with Laurie. After Karen leaves, Laurie and Hawkins chat before both are given morphine to numb their pain. Later, Laurie learns the truth and tries to get up to go after Michael again. Allyson, Cameron, and Lonnie come across the recent murder scene, finding the car empty, but also seeing that Michael left Marcus and Vanessa's bodies on a carousel with masks on, as well as leaving Marion's body hung up on the swing set with a mask as well. They find Lindsey alive but wounded and terrified. The other inmate shows up at the hospital for help, but Tommy and the whole crowd thinks it's Michael. They chase after him, but Karen manages to catch up to him and tries to help him, as she knows he is innocent. She manages to lock him in a hallway, but the mob begins to break through. Seeing no escape, the inmate breaks a window with a fire extinguisher and climbs out before jumping to his death, splattering gruesomely on the concrete. Everyone thinks Michael is dead, but Lori confirms that it's not him. Tommy is horrified, knowing that Michael has turned them violent just like him. The Johns are relaxing in their home when they hear a knocking at the door. Thinking it's more trick-or-treaters, they try to ignore it, but the knocking sounds more intense. After seeing nobody at either the front or back door, Big John goes upstairs to investigate a noise. Michael appears and stabs him in the armpit before viciously gouging his eyes out and crushing his skull. Little John finds his body and comes face to face with Michael before he is killed as well. Hawkins tells Lori that Michael isn't coming for him, because he knows he was trying to go home. He recalls the night where he almost caught him, but he prevented another officer from shooting Michael in the head out of the belief that Michael was still human. It was his greatest regret. With the knowledge that Michael is at his old house, the majority of the mob, including Allyson and Karen, make their way to the neighborhood. Allyson, Cameron, and Lonnie make their way into the house. Cameron later finds Lonnie dead and stuffed in the attic before Michael begins to attack Cameron, slamming him against the railing before coldly snapping his neck. Allyson yells at Michael to get her after he tosses her down the stairs and breaks her leg. Karen comes in and stabs Michael with a pitchfork before stealing his mask. This leads him outside where the mob begins to wail on him, beating him down to the ground before Karen sticks a knife in his neck. At the hospital, Lori talks about Michael's power, believing he gets stronger with every life he takes. While this happens, Sheriff Brackett tries to be the one to put a bullet in Michael's head in retribution for him killing his kid daughter 40 years ago. Before Brackett can pull the trigger, Michael pulls the knife out of his neck and slashed Brackett before slaughtering the rest of the mob, ending with him impaling Tommy in the chest. Karen goes upstairs to Judith's room where Michael was staring, and he sneaks up on her and stabs her to death. Lori calls Karen's phone, only to be answered by Michael breathing heavily, leading Lori to realize what he has done. She quietly tells him she is coming for him. Lori grabs her knife and starts walking out of the hospital, ready for the ultimate revenge. What did you think of the movie? I want to hear your comments below. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Until the next spoiler.